Manuel wants to know, my daughter is nonverbal and very hyperactive. She's 9 years old. What would you recommend to help her? And he says, it's a pleasure watching you both live. It's a pleasure being here with you. And I don't know about you. I got so excited about seeing Temple's Kitchen. That was a big, woohoo for me
I
today.
read a really, really funny thing online that some employees, has this big, huge, super important vice president boss, and he couldn't get away from looking at the guy's kitchen cabinets.
Right.
And I read that on a thing about, working online. They just couldn't imagine that this big vice president might even have kitchen cabinets.
Right. I'm like, Temple, there are things
people have.
Right. There are things on your refrigerator. And before this is done, I need to know what things are on your refrigerator.
Well,
it's exciting to me.
There's a bison on there, and there's a cute little puppy on there. Then there's some little magnets that were given to me of some artwork.
Well, fabulous. But now back to the nonverbal, very hyperactive 9-year-old. What would you recommend, Temple?
Well, let's try to work on things where he can, mother used to say, run the energy out of you. Okay.
And it's a girl, it's a daughter.
Exercise things, some sensory things. His mother says, run the energy out of you. So we got to try to figure out some things he can do. I don't know if he lives in an apartment or what he lives in. But he's going to have, the other thing I'm going to ask is, what was he doing before COVID? What kind of situation was he in? You see, this is where I got to have more information, and how well was he functioning in his previous situation.
Yes, it is a girl. He mentioned that it's his daughter.
Right. Girl,
but one of the things we've been talking about on the show is that even for people who are in apartment buildings, I just keep remembering, Temple, back to when I was a young girl and we didn't have the internet. And a lot of times we got snowed in for days on end because I lived in upstate New York.
We play in the snow.
Right.
We went out and played in the snows. And then I was taught turn taking, where I'd roll the bottom ball of the snowman. My sister would do the middle ball. Then I would do the head. And then we had a box of old junk, the snowman decoration box. And it just had silly things in it, like hats and scarves and things like old pill bottles. We'd use those for eyes. It was
wonderful.
Now, of course, there were no pills in those bottles, empty pill bottles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of time when we were kids that we had to be stuck indoors, and we would make an obstacle course in the living room, and we would create ways and my mom would help us to create ways that we could get our yayas out. That's what we always called it. So even if you can't go outside, you can't get to a park, you don't have any place to take your kids, but you're in your apartment, turn your apartment into an obstacle course and make them run the obstacle course. Kids need exercise.
Well, we used to play horses when I was a kid, and since I was big and strong, I was always the horse. Somebody light would ride me. But that, and then we had a brown rug in our TV room. That was the corrals, and then the living room was the pasture because they had a green rug, and that takes up a lot of energy.
And that kind of play, it actually requires a lot of cognition. It helps you to work on all the different kinds of plays that there are of taking something and endowing it with other qualities, doing imaginary play, doing sociodramatic play. And it's really good for our kids. So, it's really important, especially for those hyperactive kids, to be able to have a way to move their body. We were recommending the other day, rearrange your furniture, like push the furniture around, push it back to where it was. But that pushing kind of things activates heavy work. Exactly. So good for that.
Also, if you've got an OT that you could get on a teleconference, could give you some coaching, that might be helpful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.